Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Have you ever felt like giving up? Have you ever felt like life has just come to an end? Not yet. Up until you hear this story. This is going to encourage you, or keep you watching, or keep you listening, or keep you moving on in your life. When life comes to the edge whereby you feel like you're going to fall in that cliff, say, maisha yako inaweza kuchange any time, by the way, because um, personally, I've gone through hurdles myself. And those hurdles have made me very resilient. Zimenifanya yani, I've given myself second chances so many times. To the point whereby even there's a life-threatening situations, but I've ended up coming out of it. I have soldiered through through thick and thin. All the people wenye nilikuwa naona nilikuwa na wish nikuwe kama wao mpaka nikawapita. I've dined with them. I've lived a different life. I've just moved on to something different. To the point whereby you unafika mahali, like, you don't have to get anyone else just to change my yako. You don't need anyone to change your life. You just need you to change your own self. And especially when you feel like you're giving up. Personally, I've had challenges, and especially social challenges, jobs, whatever, and all that. But I would never say like maybe like job wise, like I've been employed and all that. No, sijai kuajiriwa sana. But let me just give you a gist of what has happened. Being born in the village and coming to Nairobi, I used to hear Nairobi. Nairobi was such a wonderful place. Like everybody was coming from Nairobi to come for funeral, and all that is like another person. Ilikuwa ni kitu kingine, yani hata alikuwa naenda unakaa tu hivi unasema we, sasa huku kunaendaje? Let me just sit down and niangalie watu wa Nairobi. When you were growing up, ulikuwa unasikia Nairobi was such a weird place by the way. Like if there is anything that I wanted, it's just to kufika Nairobi, yani tu peke yake nijue. So my prayers were like all the time, like, would I ever make it to Nairobi? So it came to a point whereby, so now I made it to Nairobi. So I'm going to make this story very, very brief and precise, to the point whereby I want to capture moments whereby you'll never want to give up for anything else. You know, I've done all kinds of jobs. I've been a teacher like my own parents. I've been a makanga. No, sijai kuwa makanga, but the siku graduate kuwa makanga. Nilikuwa manamba. I remember by then nishikuwa conductor one day, nikapoteza pesa yote, nikarudi kwa stage, so I couldn't. I remember one time nilikuwa conductor, nilipeleka basi mpaka Mombasa kurudi Nairobi, nilikuwa nimepoteza karibu 14,000, and it was very difficult for me to because I didn't know how to handle money. Yeah, it was very difficult, by the way. So long story short, when you are a young person, all the wishes that you have, that you need, that, like, more especially myself, from high school all through college, what I wanted to achieve and all that, all those things that I really had so high expectations and all of them, I achieved them. And most of those things, they don't help me anywhere. I don't want to discourage anyone for anything else, but life is how you want to design it, actually. Life is how you look at it. Life is how you go through the trenches and just makes you be somewhere else. And if kama ningetoka kole and then niajiriwe job venye nilikuwa nimeajiriwa mbeleni, and then I stay there, I probably singekuwa make any strides in my life. I'm such a person, when I get somewhere, I have to make an extreme change for that particular place, either me ama watu ambao wako hapa around your place. But let me walk you through something. When personally kuna watu sisi kama wale wa Kenya, because I'm only just capturing the audience ya Kenyans peke yake kwanza, more especially watu have come all the way. Kuna wengine wametoka Kenya straight wamekuja mpaka America, wakaruka Nairobi, you know, they've missed all these kind of things. Personally, a person like mimi nimepitia every single stage kwa maisha yangu, sijawahi kuruka hata moja. I've never had a chance to skip even one single step. So being a teacher, I used to teach somewhere by the Emurua Dikri constituency. kuna shule nilikuwa nafunza hapo ilikuwa inaitwa Ndamama, shule ya wakale, St. Thomas Aquinas. I was just a teacher. I was teaching English and literature there for almost like how can I say, for almost like about 6-7 months. This story is so funny, by the way. So I was teaching there with some of my village mates who were there, some older guy. I'm not gonna mention their names. And one time I was put to be in charge of holiday coaching, and then this is so funny because wakati holiday coaching watu walikuwa wanalipa 1,000, all students walikuwa wanalipa 1,500 shillings for holiday tuition. I think it's something which is very basic for each and every Kenyan by the. And so we had different tribes from the Kisii side, but the majority were the Kalenjins and Maasai. So they used to come to that school over there. So, and then the students were very many. So we tukapiga hesabu vizuri, tukajua venye how much we could utilize during that time and all that. I was so naive. I didn't know much actually. So, but the people who were there, the teachers who were there prior to me coming to that school, they knew that was their money making scheme. I didn't know. Mine was like I wanted to make sure whatever that we are doing is something that is going to benefit our wanafunzi. Sasa mimi sikuwa najua like wao watu hii kufunza hapa ilikuwa ni ya kulia. So wakati holiday coaching imeanza, so I was the person who was in charge. So I'm making sure each and every single person analipa pesa ya kuingia shule, and then they pay at the end of the day. Boss najua hiyo program hata ikuisha. Boss najua kwa nini? The person alikuwa ameweka kama amesimamia kama treasury, alikuwa anaingia nyuma ya matents hapo hivyo, alikuwa anakunywa busa. He never came to school. Akaenda kunywa busa na pesa wanafunzi kukula chakula kwa shule na nini. Boss tulichomolewa kijiko kutoka kwa hiyo shule. Wakati students were realizing na nini, mimi karibu nimalizwe. So I ended up just running away. That's the only thing which made me come to Nairobi. Kama kuna ile scheme mtu anakuambia unachoma bet. So me, I didn't know. So the students were so mad at us, like walikuwa najua walimu ndio walikula hiyo pesa. Mimi sikuwa najua. So nimeamka asubuhi mazee, watu wamekasirika mbaya sana. But sasa mimi wangenifanyia kitu because I was so friendly to them. Lakini sasa walimu wengine, boss, walikuwa wasema aje, wacha miguu nisaidie. Watu walitoka kijiko ajabu sana. So hiyo pesa kapotea, they started going to police station, following up and all that. Mimi niko na mazee itakuja kuleta shida. So what I did is, so I called my cousin. Namwambia, "Ezi mambo poa. Mimi yenyewe naona kama village maisha imekuwa ngumu." And guess what? I just left. I went to Nairobi. So arriving in Nairobi was just a whole conundrum of things. And there are people who changed my life. There are people who made me have to change my life. There are people who really gave me a hell of a living in Nairobi. But all those things, actually, they really helped me. Zilinisaidia sana kushape maisha yangu, kutaka kujua where to go when and on how to navigate Nairobi. You coming out the city is just a weird place, such a big town. You don't even know how to cross the road, you know. Like, but you're here, you know. Umeshasikia kwamba you need to make it work. But prior to that, the first time nilikuwa nimekuja Nairobi, nilikuwa nimeenda Limuru. And then nilikuwa nimepata job fulani nilikuwa nafanya na Safaricom. Then, you know, Safaricom back then was like, hakuna mtu alikuwa anaitambua. It was so difficult, but it was a job ya sales and marketing. So nilikuwa nimeenda kufanya hiyo kazi huko na jamaa mwingine, but akani host for a while, story ikaisha. So we came to sasa OTC, Jack and Jill. Boss hapa ni shamba la mawe. Hapo lazima pesa itokwe, upende usipende. Sasa, you know, I mean, what we used to do is, mimi nilikuwa manamba. And the majority of the people that tulikuwa pale, tulikuwa manamba. What we used to do is, unapanga gari, linajaa, and then, you know what, you get the commission, like 10%, depending on ni company gani na nini, wenye mmeagree na wenye magari na nini, and then you get 10% out of it. So, for those people who are there, they understand how it works. Lakini, to fast forward this story, ni kwamba that place really helped me out so much because I was in college at the time. So nakumbuka nilikuwa natoka hapo, nachomoka hapo, naenda kuolea hapo chini kwa kona, and then narudi and all that. So that's how it was. College was very expensive for me. Very expensive because my mom didn't have sufficient money for me to finish even college at the time. Because, you know, here's the deal. I could have gone to a cheaper college, but identity crisis was a problem. You understand? Like you want to feature somewhere so big, but at the same time, you cannot afford it. So I mean, these are things which have really happened. So I applied college. I was admitted at Strathmore College, but the problem here is my mother cannot afford. My parents are just primary teachers; they cannot even afford. So going to college was just a mess. Like mimi ni makanga naenda kole na nini, but we were so many wenye tulikuwa tunaenda kole at the time. Tulikuwa na sisi ma namba, kuna wengine walikuwa KSMS, Kenya School of Monetary Studies. Nakumbuka kuna wengine walikuwa UON kama Felix, kuna wengine walikuwa huyu jamaa alikuwa anafanya kazi na nini, alikuwa wapi? Alikuwa Kenya Polytechnic at the time before ikuwe ndio Kenya ndio ngaje siku hizi, something like, I think it's Kenya Polytechnic, but still Technical University of Nairobi. So hiyo took ndio. So then ilikuwa ni Kenya Poly. Hizo miaka zimeenda na nini. But let me tell you one thing that I learned out of that place. I remember one time a friend of mine anaitwa Eriko. That thing really hurt my feelings so bad. So each and every single day, it was so funny afterwards. After some time went by, it became so funny. So I didn't have the muscle ya kupull watu kujaza kwa gari, because sasa sinija mimi nilikuwa na some level of distance, nataka kuongea na watu, na hapa customers kitambio mazuri ulikuwa unapigwa ndio unaingia kwa gari, unachapwa ndio uingie kwa gari ndio uende kusafiri. So but I don't have that muscle. I was so tiny boy and all that. Mara hapa mnakimbizana na maraino na nini, kanjo nini, it's too much. So what happened is one time, so mimi nilikuwa na hang around my cousin Ezi. Actually, he used to give me bus fare to go home mapema, mimi nitulie, alafu the following day niamke nikuwe kama I was like a house boy, I was just making food, making the house quick clean na nini and all that, just making things to be in order. Lakini sasa mimi what I was benefiting out of it, nilikuwa napatiwa bus fare. So and then I had so much village mentalism in me. And then the person mwenye alikuwa anisaidia sana ni mzee. So mzee is my very good friend. Is the kind of guy who brought me into shaping up when it comes to the city life na kuelewa na nini. I really learned Nairobi so well that I knew it inside out just because of mzee. He used to tell me what type of music to listen to, like this is what, mimi kwa sikizaga vitu zingine hata mtu haelewi nini, because I was just a villager, I just had my own life. Bana Sungusia kwa ametokea kipindi hicho. Bana Sungusia ametokea juzi bana. So we used to listen to some funny things. Actually, personally, when I used to listen to Capital FM from back then. So I didn't know so much about city life on how it is. Nilikuwa naangalia hivi watu wanapita bwana, siku moja unaona wasichana wanapita hivyo kwa unasema hiyo time nilikuwa zile vitu zimetokea sana, kwa valega zilitoka Gideon boots. Zilitoka Gideon boots, alafu na zingine zilikuwa kujua na tukamba hivi. Kwa naona mtu akipita na hiyo unasema sasa hapa ndio city life. So I mean I would walk you through to the point whereby I came to realize ni ushamba. You know. So this is so funny. Let me tell you. So one time, oh my God, this is just so funny, by the way. One time, so nilikuwa nimetulia tu Jack and Jill. Watu walikuwa wanapitaga tu, sio unaangalia tu hivi. Hiyo time wazee hata una girlfriend, you don't have anything. You don't know what to do with your life. Nothing. You're just there, hanging on. This is like almost 21 plus years ago. Like you don't even know anything. You don't know where to start from. Nothing. All that you have is just money. I only knew college girls when tulikuwa na shule pamoja, and that's it. And again, ni watoto wa wadosi. Mnasoma nao pale. Sasa nyinyi ukifika pale unakaa tu kama, how can I say, like this is a zombie and all that. So even I remember one time we went for lunch. Me na Ezi na dem fulani hapo kwa anaitwa Vena. Sasa Vena, she's a city girl. ni mtu mwenye anajua mambo ya town. Alafu sasa sisi ni watu wa kichaka. Afadhali Yezi alikuwa anaelewa. Mimi ni mtu wa kichaka, na kuna mtu mmoja hapo katikati, sisi sitaki kumtaja jina lake because for some reasons tukaenda mazee, tukaenda kuorder food. Nikaangalia kwa kitabu mazee, kwa ile menu unaona imeandikwa, mtu akasema akaitisha milkshake. I was like, what is a milkshake? What's a milkshake? Nakatu mshamba. Nikamwambia bwana, mimi sitaki milkshake, mimi nataka ugali. Akatuambia huko hakuna ugali, it's just a coffee place. That thing was, oh my god, that was so, oh man, I don't want to remember that. That life was horrible, honestly. Because you get a coffee shop, unaenda kwenda kuomba ugali, boss. Enyewe ushamba likuwa ni kitu mbaya sana. So this girl used to remind me about that story. Even up to today, it's crazy in party hivi. It's due kwa happy birthday. It's been a long time. Vena mali penye uko akiwa line tafuta tu naweza kubaia ugali kwa coffee shop. It was such a, ilikuwa tu yani ni vitu zingine. And then so things happened and all that. So while I was niko kwa hiyo umanamba na nini, you know, I just nilikuwa napanga magari mahali popote. So you know, you become so super and you know what you're doing and all that. So everything that you're doing is you want to make money at the time. And then Michuki comes, brushes everyone off with internal security. Akakuja na zile safety belt na nini and everybody was knocked off. So akasambaratisha vitu, kila mtu akana masako sijui na nini. So umanamba ikakuwa such a problem, you know. So baadaye, so life just happened na nini. Tukaenda mahali panaitwa chini ya mnazi Embakasi. Sasa this after post elections we went back to Embakasi East. Sai mahali penye Babu Wino ndio member of parliament. Hiyo time ilikuwa ni Embakasi. Tulikuwa na Embakasi East nini ilikuwa ni Embakasi constituency. So we created something inaitwa Embasava. Ilikuwa ni Embakasi Savannah at the time. No one knew. Kuna magari zinatoka Wangora. Ushapanda gari fulani usiku, Mofata angekuwa hapa ningekwambia gari zinatoka Wangora ni gani. Ni gari fulani ninajua ikiwa kwa stage inapanga, mlango inachomolewa na kwa kando, gari kijaa, ndio mlango inaletwa inawekwa, ndio mnaenda. So hizo gari ndio tulikuwa tunazitumia kufanya, we just used those ones kama kutengeneza sako at the time. So life happened, you know. We kept giving up each and every single time. I wasn't getting a lot of money at the time. You know how much money I was making? 100 shillings, 200 shillings. Do you know why? Because the only advantage that I had personally, by the time I was coming out of country bus na nini kwenda huko, I was driving a bus. But this is gari ndogo. I couldn't drive them. And so advantage nilikuwa nao tu peke yake, nilikuwa na drive. Hiyo place nitoka Kamagera, you know. Hapa Kamagera, you know, you stay there ndio, you know. Sijui kama understand Kamagera. Kamagera is a place whereby the drivers come from town, wanakuja wanawaachia magari, mnaenda kupangisha kule, alafu then mnarudi. Let me tell you on how I transitioned my life. So that thing really helped me so much. Ikanisaidia sana kujua. Me, I was driving a bus. So I was very young and I could drive a bus. So something which was very outstanding for a lot of people. Because nilikuwa nimezoea kuendesha magari kutoka kwa stage. So so nikidrive bus, nilikuwa napewa 50 shillings. So I only had 5 buses. Nilikuwa najuana na hao watu. So kitambo iende tao irudi KBS ifike na nini. Na tuko watu wengi ambao tunataka kudrive na nini. Mimi sitaki kudrive Nissan because Nissan sasa unanipatia 20 bob ya kazi gani. So siwezi nisaidia. So at least I could make like 200 shillings, 300 shillings a day. Oh my God, I couldn't believe. Tuko naishi place ingine nyumba 11th floor kwa Paipu. 11 floor. Boss, ukisahau kiberiti, don't go there. You know, I mean like kuna hizo jamaa fulani akina Isaac, akina Ben, man, we went through some hard life. tough life, like watu wenye wako pale walikuwa wanakumbuka na nini. But sasa unajua, then ilikuwa like ni place ya kushikilia, and then you find yourself somewhere else. Be bado mimi nilikuwa shule, so I didn't have a choice than to do what, then be there, because I have to sustain myself regardless. So one time, there's a friend of mine into a boy. He was the only guy who I could relate with at the time. Nili kwamba siwezi kurelate na watu wengine, no, I could relate with them, but now tulikuwa on the same page in a lot of things, like tunge reason in very many things tunapatana naye. Alafu watu wengine walikuwa very scornful and all that, sababu wanaona najua sasa wewe hujakuwa dereva, wewe si makanga, wewe unatoka country, but we come from a different territory, so they kinda wanakubagua in a way. So it so happened like to the point whereby sasa you really have to find a way to leave that place. So a job opportunity ikafunguka airport kwenda ku drive. So it so happened I was the only person who had a driver's license at the time. So boy ndiye alikuwa anafanya kazi airport. Boy got a different job. You know what he did? He quit that job for me. He quit, alafu akaniita nikaenda kufanya interview. Niende ku drive magari airport. That moment was really epic. I remember when he called me, nilikuwa juu ya mawe boss. Nilichomoka mbio, ingine sijai kukimbia. Hata nilikuwa naona kama gari inaweza iendi haraka, kuna jam. Nakumbuka nilikimbia kutoka hiyo place, kutoka Kware mpaka Taj Mall. Hiyo barabara yenye imejengwa hapa hotelini iko kuaga. Nothing. Ilikuwa nikajam kingine nikawazimu kama barabara kama mtaro. So kafika mpaka huko, hiyo time kulikuwa na kuna barabara unaona kwa ndabo Taj Mall, ukicross hivi kwa nini? Au hatuko tunaenda Mombasa Road, kulikuwa na barabara inaenda cross mpaka airport straight. So nikaingia hapo pop, nikaingia airport. Wakati nilifika airport, nikafanyishwa interview, nikapita. So boye akapigia huyo dem simu mwenye alikuwa ni recruiting manager. Alikuwa ni HR manager ama alikuwa recruiting general manager. I don't remember. Becky Mungai. You met her. So Becky is the one who hired me. And then guess what? I remember that day when I got that job, I cried. I was like, dang, nimeajiriwa job for the first time. Naenda kupata mshahara. Tulikuwa nalipwa 19,000. Yeah, 19,000. But before that, najua nilikuwa nime lose two jobs, by the way. Nitakwambia story how I lost some jobs before that. So the reason as to why I'm telling you this story and why it's really changed me, it's because on how I transitioned on that job. When I got there, I already had what we call a professional job etiquette. Na ilikuwa inanisaidia sana. The reason as to why is I was in nilikuwa kwa ulimwengu wa tatu tulikuwa naitaga, like the other underworld. But when I got into the corporate world, because now I was working with Kenya Airways at the time, I was really very professional in what I was doing. I was a driver peke yake, but trust me, hiyo time nilikuwa nimefanya nini yangu, nilikuwa nimeweka akili yangu, like this is what I wanted to do. 3 months, no, actually not 3 months. I remember 1 month and some 22 days. I was elevated in my job to be to a controlling position, like whereby you can manage drivers and all that, and all those kind of things and all that. So that particular transition from the underworld to the corporate world kind of changed me somehow. And when I got there with one reason. I knew this is the only way that I can change myself to be something different. I wouldn't want to go back mahali penye nilikuwa nimeketi juu ya mawe. So that first of all, mpaka hiyo kufikia hapo, it was really something which, for me, it was really something which was opening my mind. And remember, I'd almost given up. Nikiwa juu ya mawe. Kuna place kuna chini ya mnazi actually, Embakasi. That place was very helpful for me at a certain level. But ilikuwa imefika sasa saturating point whereby I could not stay there anymore because now I have changed my life. I'm feeling like I'm giving up. But you could give up hivyo, another window of opportunity opens up. And that's why I will never forget. That's person number one who changed my life. Eric Boy. That's why I never forget about him. That's why I remember every single day on my life changed from that guy switching his own position to go work somewhere else and give me that position to work there. So I'll give you part 2 on when we come out of this.